Imagine a temporary organization within the U.S. government, not quite a department, tasked with slashing federal spending and regulations. This is DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, an initiative launched by the second Trump administration in January of 2025. It's not a cabinet-level department requiring congressional approval, but a contracted organization scheduled to self-destruct in roughly a year and a half. Funded initially with $6.75 million, its budget quickly ballooned to $14.4 million and then to nearly $40 million. From its inception, DOGE has been steeped in controversy, raising questions about its authority, its methods, and its true objectives. Businessman Elon Musk is at the heart of this operation. Trump declared Musk, quote, in charge, end quote. But the White House has walked that back, insisting Musk is merely an advisor with, quote, no actual or formal authority to make government decisions, end quote. Yet, Musk's influence is undeniable. He's the public face, the driving force, and his team, comprised of loyalists and young, inexperienced hires, are embedded within federal agencies. This raises a fundamental question. Who is really in charge? Is it Musk, pulling strings from the shadows, or is DOGE operating outside established governmental structures, accountable to no one but the former president? This ambiguity fuels much of the criticism and concern surrounding DOGE. DOGE boldly announced $55 billion in federal spending savings just 30 days after its inception. Sounds impressive, right? However, digging into their claims reveals a different story. Independent analysis of DOGE's own tracking website puts the actual savings closer to $8.6 billion. In one particularly egregious example, an $8 million contract cancellation was inflated to $8 billion. NPR's analysis found that a staggering $46.5 billion of DOGE reported savings weren't even linked to specific items. These discrepancies paint a picture of either gross incompetence or deliberate manipulation, raising serious doubts about the validity of DOGE's central justification: efficient cost-cutting. Adding fuel to the fire is the controversial workforce handpicked by Musk, dubbed, quote, DOGE kids, end quote. These are largely engineers in their early 20s with minimal government experience. Reports describe them as aggressively questioning federal employees, sometimes refusing to identify themselves fully, and using dismissive language. One appointee, Edward Corristine, a 19-year-old, has a disturbing online history. Another, Marco Velez, resigned after racist social media posts surfaced, only to be publicly offered his job back by Musk after a Twitter poll. These hires raise serious questions about vetting, qualifications, and the judgment of those leading DOGE. Transparency? Not so much. While Musk publicly claimed DOGE would be, quote, maximally transparent, end quote, the Trump administration swiftly granted it an exemption from public disclosure laws. DOGE was placed under the Presidential Records Act, shielding its documents and communications from public scrutiny and Freedom of Information Act requests until at least 2034. Furthermore, DOGE employees were instructed to abandon Slack, a communication platform, to evade oversight. This veil of secrecy directly contradicts the stated goal of transparency and fuels suspicion that DOGE is operating without accountability, shielded from public and judicial review. Legal challenges are mounting against DOGE. Its actions, including dissolving agencies and seizing congressionally authorized funds, are described by critics as violating Article 1 of the Constitution, potentially triggering a constitutional crisis. Lawsuits are piling up, questioning DOGE authority to implement mass layoffs, alter federal employee email systems, and bypass established procedures. State attorneys general have challenged DOGE authority, and unions representing hundreds of thousands of federal employees have filed suit. The courts are now battlegrounds in the fight over DOGE legitimacy and its sweeping actions. DOGE claims its actions are about efficiency and cutting waste. However, an internal report revealed a three-phase plan explicitly targeting diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, initiatives. This plan involved rescinding DEI executive orders, dissolving DEI offices, removing DEI content from federal websites, and terminating DEI contracts. While some waste may exist within government programs, critics argue that DEI is being used as a smokescreen for ideological purges and broader budget cuts targeting essential services. Veteran Republican budget experts have stated that DOGE actions appear, quote, driven more by an ideological assault on federal agencies long hated by conservatives than a good faith effort to save taxpayer dollars, end quote, from its website being demonstrably insecure, allowing unauthorized posts to accidentally leaking classified intelligence about National Reconnaissance Office staff. DOGE operational execution has been far from efficient. The website waste.gov, intended to, quote, track government waste, end quote, launched as a placeholder WordPress page for a fictional architecture firm and was quickly password protected. The rollout of a, quote, deferred resignation, end quote, program to federal employees was plagued with issues, with buyout offers mistakenly sent to federal judges overseeing lawsuits against DOGE. These missteps raise serious questions about DOGE competence and preparedness to handle complex governmental tasks. Unsurprisingly, DOGE actions have sparked significant resistance. Federal workers have staged protests, decrying what they call a, quote, corporate coup, end quote, and a, quote, hostile takeover, end quote, of the government. While most Republicans initially supported DOGE, some Democrats, and even initially supportive figures like Bernie Sanders, have voiced strong opposition, calling DOGE illegal and unconstitutional. The controversy surrounding DOGE highlights a fundamental tension: the balance between efficiency in government and the principles of transparency, accountability, and due process. As legal challenges proceed and public scrutiny intensifies, the future and lasting impact of DOGE remain highly uncertain.